There are certain things in life where size doesn't really matter.
You are Locked On Trojans, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Holkin, and thank you for making Locked On USC your first listen every day. Whether you're going to watch this show on YouTube or wherever you're going to download your podcast, this show is free, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate your support. You can show your appreciation. We're almost at that goal. Keep coming. I need my subscribers. It's quick, it's easy, it's free. Click that red subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. When you see the thumbs up, you need to smash it. Make it go down. Thumbs up, good. And don't forget to hit that bell notification button so you don't miss an episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. So I said, size doesn't matter in everything, but playing football, size matters. Matters a lot. And in football, it starts up front, in the trenches, right? Offensive line, defensive line. If USC is going to get better, they needed to get bigger, they needed to get stronger, and they needed to get meaner up front on both sides of the ball. The 2023 bidding class that USC won, that was full of guys who were, 300 pounds or more, three bills. And after they spend a year in college, they look like college 300 pounders. They don't look like baby fat 300 pounders arriving into college. Guys like Alani Noah, Elijah Page, they got a taste early in the season in 2023. And then you have the others that came in with them, like Amos Talalele, Micah Benuelos, Tobias Raymond. Each of those guys, they're all anticipating seeing some action in the bowl game. And now the competition and the depth might be, it might even be younger when spring opens up in a few months. Believe it or not, spring camp is just a few months away, folks, even though we haven't played the Holiday Bowl, which comes up on Wednesday, the 27th. But when spring camp opens, I'm going to be looking for the dudes with those mean streaks, the guys who like to flip and make pancakes all game long. Guys like the class of 2024 that they're bringing in with the class of 2024. How about an early enrollee? Somebody will be able to see in spring camp. I'm going to start on the offense in this segment. Second segment, I'm going to go flip over to the defensive side of the ball, and then we're going to finish up the show with my Friday rant. Probably got started a little early on yesterday's episode. With that said, let's get back to the big guys in the trenches, offensive line. Guys like Jason Zandamela. The reason I'm doing this is you asked for it. One of my viewers said, "Hey, Mark, can you break down the offensive lineman in this class?" I said, "You know what? Be happy to." So here we go. He's 6'3", 300 pounds, and not only does his game film demonstrate his athleticism, first thing you're going to see when you watch it, he's got great footwork. And guys who are big and who can move with great footwork and they do it without looking clumsy, that's a great thing, because that's what young offensive linemen struggle with. Their footwork, not looking clumsy when they're trying to move. Jason doesn't have any of that. He looks fluid. But also when you watch him on film, you see that he wants to drive his opponent 6 feet deep into the terra firma. All you younger guys know, huh? Go look it up. Terra firma, your word of the day. Anyways, he was someone that Coach Josh Henson identified very early and made him a priority. Will he be a contributor in 2024? Maybe. He'll have a chance to compete in the spring because he's one of the early enrollees. Another offensive lineman. There were 5 of them in this class, by the way. Let's go out to Justin I hate saying these last names. Ta'ua'anu. 6'6", 285, 290 pounds. I'm not sure if he has a mean streak. It doesn't really show when I watch his tape, although he is very aggressive with his approach. He's, in my opinion, he's probably 2 years away from being a contributor, at least 2 years away. but you'll love his size and frame. The first thing that jumps out when you see him on film, he's got those really knuckle-dragging long arms, long knuckle draggers. And here's another thing. If Stanford wanted him, there's probably two things you want to like. Number one, he's intelligent. Stanford doesn't, put a lot of time and resource into players that aren't going to be able to get in past their entry requirements. So he's going to understand what's being taught to him. And the other thing is, Stanford recognizes offensive line ability probably better than most programs throughout the country. And I also know for a fact that their offensive line coach, Vianney Talaymayavo, they wanted him pretty badly up there on the farm. Another offensive lineman, Kalolo Ta'aga, 6'7", 270 pounds. He plays basketball. And he's a guy who USC is just now starting to stack that offensive tackle body, stack them up, get him into the system, look for them 2 to 3 years down the line. He's raw. I mean, there's no other way to spin it, but his stock was rising after playing football for just one season. And it basically went from being committed to San Jose State to choosing, which Pac-12 program did he want to commit to. The 2023 and 2024 offensive line classes literally are going to be the foundation for USC going forward. He is another one of those guys who you want to develop, and you'll see him on the field in, like I said, 2 to 3 years. You don't need guys to be ready right away at the offensive line position. Here's my wild card for the 2024 offensive line class. And someone who I think could see the field sooner rather than later. His name's Hayden Frader. And I think he was the first offensive lineman to commit to the 2024 class. And that happened back in May. Look, I don't care that he's only a 3-star. He's 6'6", he's 280 pounds, and he plays interior line. He picked the Trojans over Oregon. And he also picked him over his home state school of Colorado. And Tennessee wanted him pretty badly as well. He plays with that mean streak when you watch his tape. And here's why Coach Henson wanted him so badly after seeing him work out. This is what Coach Henson told Hayden. He said, I looked like Andrew Voorhees, but with better feet. He also said that I was already further along physically than him at this stage. Right now, it looks like guard is where I'll play. Coach Henson usually likes more athletic guys at guard. He likes to pull and move around a lot, but it really depends when I get there. Tennessee had me as a tackle just because they saw I could carry so much more weight and all that stuff. So, we'll see, end quote. Tell me, is there anything wrong with having another Andrew Voorhees on the roster? Of course not. You want about 12 Andrew Voorhees playing on your offensive line. And then you also have a guy named Makai Saena. He's another 3-star who was offered by USC, Texas A&M, Nebraska, Georgia, Miami, Oregon, Auburn, LSU, Penn State. In other words, everyone. He's listed at 6'3.5", 6'4", 275 pounds. So I guess he's the smallest guy in this offensive line class. But he also probably has the most upside. This is what Coach Henson told him. When I took my official visit, Henson told me I was a great player, but there's things I need to get up on, like developing my whole body, mainly like my upper body. I need to get stronger. They said they'll probably try me out at tackle, but I'm probably going to guard. I'm not tall enough, he said with a laugh. But I'm just fine with that. I have no problem with guard. So there you go. Those are the 5 offensive linemen in this 2024 class, and they're just filling needs. They're stacking on top of that 2023 class, which is going to play a significant role in 2024. So these guys coming up right behind them, this is your foundation. Before we get into the next segment, breaking news, USC's recruiting class just got better. They landed a commitment from UCLA defensive back safety, Kamari Ramsey. We kind of knew this was going to happen. Kamari Ramsey, by the way, is the #1 safety in the transfer portal. I don't make up these rankings. Other people do. He played at UCLA last year. He was coached up by USC's new defensive coordinator, Antonlynn. And USC is adding literally an immediate impact player through the transfer portal. And look, they didn't have to go very far to get this one. He played at Sierra Canyon High School, and Ramsey chose, when he jumped into the transfer portal, he picked USC over Washington as well as Ohio State, who they wanted this young man really badly. So this is probably a good indication that Kalen Bullock is done playing at USC. I haven't heard anything official yet. I kind of feel that way now. At least it's safety, because his body screams cornerback at the NFL level. So look, we'll see what happens. I haven't heard anything from Kalen yet. This is what Ramsey said about Antonlynn earlier. He has a great scheme that benefits everyone. He is also an aggressive play caller and doesn't allow the offense to dictate what the defense does. He brings pressure and gets the quarterback uncomfortable. And now with Ramsey on board, guess what? It took all about 30 minutes for his teammate. Boom, here we go. I talked about this guy last week, but John Humphreys has committed to USC as well. Cornerback, he's got 1 year of eligibility left. I'm going to talk about more of these guys as well as transfers who came along next week when I have more time. Next segment, but we're getting into the defensive recruits. Trojan fans, I need to stop stressing out. You can get your tickets, download the Game Time app. The Holiday Bowl is there. If you haven't got your tickets yet, you got time. They've got killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, so you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you want to have. Trojan fans get the Game Time app. They've got hot deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. And you can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, whatever you need, they got it. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. And if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And you're not going to know exactly what you're getting when you buy. You're going to get images of your seat, so you know exactly what you get when you arrive. And they're going to send the tickets right to your phone, not your email. 2 taps, boom, you're done. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. If USC football wants to be taken seriously again, and it's being taken seriously, I'm just kind of talking facetiously, then they need to make that defense something that isn't an embarrassment. And that's going to be a really good place to start. In the trenches, up front. The new defensive coordinator and assistant coaches, and Riley said that defense is going to be the first. At USC, defense is going to be number one first when it comes to getting this team better. Those are Lincoln Riley's words. Defense is going to be a priority. He said that they're also not done with their defensive coaching staff. That's still a fluid motion. I'm telling you, more changes are coming. However, here are some more defensive adjustments that we can all get excited about right now. And I'm not going to go in any particular order, but because USC needs to get bigger, stronger dudes up front in the trenches who can play as soon as possible, that's where we're going. Each of the guys who are going to be at USC in 2024, let's start with Ameron Fountain. Look, what do they say? If you want SEC size, then you have to go into the SEC country to recruit. Well, USC went in there, they put a bid in, and Roy Manning, literally, he went into Kirby Smart's backyard, plucked one of the best peaches off his tree. 6'6", 250 plus pounds. That's what he was at the beginning of high school, or at the beginning of his senior season. I just saw a picture of him recently. He's bigger than 250 pounds. He picked USC. USC got rid of their defensive coordinator, not sure what direction things were going. He stuck with his commitment after Grinch was let go. Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, Auburn, Texas, Florida State. They all wanted this young man. So Let's not forget who USC added in 2023: Sam Green, Braylon Shelby, David DJ Peavy, and now that depth chart just got better. It's deeper. Competition, iron sharpens iron. You're going to love this young man. When you add speed to his size and strength, by the way, strong hands. Once he gets his grip on you, you're his. He's not letting go. And you have you now have a violent defensive end who has the ability to create chaos in the backfield. That's what Ameron Fountain is bringing to the table. All of those assets. USC also brought in Juday Abasi. He's another defensive lineman with size, 6'6", 280 plus pounds. At his current size, Juday can play both defensive end and defensive tackle. And that's what Lynn wants. Guys who are versatile enough to can stay on the field and not have to substitute for. If you remember, I talked about this when Lynn came on board. When we got to talk to him via his Zoom call, he mentioned he wants defensive linemen who are versatile enough to play inside, outside, so they don't have to substitute as frequently. Here's my quickie evaluation. I think he's right now, at least he's more of a run stopper than a pass rusher, but he's only going to get bigger. So I see him eventually staying inside at either the 3 or the 5 technique spot. That's my professional opinion. That's my untrained eye for you. Linebacker, Elijah Newby. Now, he had offers from Alabama, Penn State, Michigan, Nebraska, South Carolina, Texas Tech, Stanford, Kentucky, Utah, North Carolina, just to name a few. He's an athlete, and he's one of the more intriguing athletes in this class. He has wide receiver speed. I mean, blazing speed. And he's 6'3", 220 pounds. I don't think he's moving to the offensive side of the ball, but I cannot wait to see what his body develops into. Roy Manning and Alex Grinch's scheme, that's not going to be used. Well, Alex Grinch's scheme is not going to be used in 2024. Roy Manning isn't going to be asked to use that scheme. So it's going to be interesting to see where Elijah lines up. Is he going to stay outside? Will he get big enough to move inside? I don't know. We'll see. I don't think well, here's a guy who I don't think will be at USC in the spring, but USC got one guy that Ohio State wanted towards the end of the bidding cycle. Carlon Jones, 6'3", 290 pounds. He is very athletic. He's a physical defensive guy that has the skills and ability to be both dominant, run or pass. Now, here's the blue chip defensive interior lineman that USC fans wanted. You got one. Here you go. He's going to play inside, and this is my professional untrained eye opinion. I think he'll probably end up playing over the ball by the time he's ready to make an impact at USC. His biggest attribute, 290 pounds. He likes to bull rush. And when you're that size, why not, right? But he's not just a one-trick pony. The guy actually has some technique moves. So the other thing I noticed on his film, really good feet for a big guy, which allows him to kind of, I know USC fans don't want to hear this, he can shoot the gaps. But he can also, that means he can get his hands on guys early. And that's what you want from a defensive lineman. Someone who can get their hands, get that first punch, and start making him go a certain direction. Do not let the offensive lineman drive you. You drive the offensive lineman. So he doesn't get caught up. He doesn't get turned around. You won't see him getting lost in the wash, so to speak. He's always going to be around to make a play. Another guy, and this is someone Roy Manning wanted really bad, late in the process, Lorenzo Cowen, 6'3", 220, 230 pounds. Again, Coach Manning wanted him. In fact, he made it a priority. And he wanted him so bad, he was able to flip him from Kentucky SEC program. Look, I'm not saying he's a project. I don't want to allude to that or imply that. But I don't think he's going to be needed in 2024. And so when he does arrive, he's going to hit the weight room when he gets there. I think his best attribute right now is just pure blazing speed. So is he going to stay at the outside linebacker spot? Will he grow up? Will he grow into a bigger body defensive end type? I think he's a more natural defensive end. And he also has a younger brother that's considered pretty good. So I don't know. At least USC's got their foot in the door now, right? And then don't forget, defensive lineman. He's in the transfer portal. USC got him through the transfer portal. 6'5", 290 pounds, from Vanderbilt, Nate Clifton. When he gets to USC, he is going to be asked to be ready immediately. You need him to be ready immediately. So those are the guys up front in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. USC did pretty good with this recruiting class. So let's stop hating on it. Look, you didn't get the blue chip 5 stars. Who cares? You've got a better coaching staff. Let's start developing these 4 stars. Excuse me. We're doing this one. Score early in this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. It's $150 if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel throughout the NFL season, do it now. There's no better time. The app is really easy to use. They got a bunch of different ways you can bet, including the point spreads, the player prop bets. You like the over-unders? They got it. And they got a whole bunch of other ways as well. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL. You know, on the show, you get a lot of in-depth analysis and hot takes, right? We've just been doing that the whole show. Well, let me give you my hottest take of the day. The best lineup in LA right now is the lineup of auto loans at Logix. They start off at the top with one of my favorites, the proven and dependable new and used vehicle loans. You can count on these guys to give you low rates and save you big-time bucks. Next up, they've got an exciting new rookie sensation in their electric vehicle loans team with super low rates and flexible payment terms. And rounding out their lineup, they've got their auto refinancing loans and lease buyout loans. With these guys, you can lower your monthly payments and get on the road to owning your car faster. Look, I know it's a hot take, but seriously, no one can beat the lineup at Logix. Visit your local Logix branch right here in LA and the surrounding area and let one of their amazing team members help you. Or just apply online in minutes at logixbanking.com. That's LOGIX like X-ray banking.com. All right, it's my Friday rant. I think I got started a little early on yesterday's episode. This whole recruiting charade, we got to corral this wild stallion, or it's just going to get worse. When it comes down to it, USC's NIL game, their game plan, they're not going to overpay for high school recruits. I'm not saying they don't pay. They're not going to overpay. There's a big difference. You don't have to like it, but you have to accept it. It is what it is right now. So if you don't like it and you don't want to accept it, okay, be the solution. Stop complaining. Make a donation, and it's going to cost you a sizable one. If you need the address to House of Victory, let me know. I'll get it for you. But that's where it starts. Start donating. Look, the schools that are doing it the opposite way of USC right now, they're getting guys. They're getting all the elite 5-star, prospects, but they're not winning anything of significance. Look, trust me, I get it. Losing recruits every year to schools like Oregon, who have to play, is frustrating. I get it. I really do. But look, there has to be a compromise, right? I told you earlier in the week I was going to read some of my viewer comments, and I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to do a few of them here, and I'm going to carry that over. We'll do it next week. There's so much to talk about with recruiting and the transfer portal and everything that's going on. I could have timed it better, so I apologize. That's on me, but here's a few. Michael Brown, he made this comment. USC has very wealthy alums all throughout the greater Los Angeles entertainment, legal, business, and political worlds. You're absolutely correct. There's no shortage of money here. The new athletic director has her work cut out for her. Got to get creative and instill enough trust so that USC's bagmen and bag women willingly start to open those checkbooks. Lincoln Riley's new staff has to be a hit. Otherwise, he'll have to go in. He'll have to leave in 2 to 3 years. Part of the issue is that USC has, and this is my answer to Michael's comment. USC's got a lot of construction going on around campus right now. And it's beyond just the new football facilities. And, if USC is going to keep tapping those same veins, those same donors that Michael was alluding to, those politicians and celebrities and yada, 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 they're going to say, hey, you know what? I gave. Take a look at that 6-figure check I gave you, that 7-figure check I gave you. Can I come up for some air before you come back for more? And there's also the thing where, they're more than willing to ask you for the check and accept your check. But then there's also a little bit of an attitude where they'll say, okay, thank you. No, just sit there. Don't say anything. This is where Jen Cohen has her work cut out for herself. It's reestablishing those relationships, those bridges that have been burned. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Here's a comment question from Will's Way 808. He said, let's just call it what it is. This is the first opportunity for college football free agency. College football has been the minor leagues for the pros, minus a salary cap and a commissioner. Will, you are absolutely right. I've been leading this parade for a couple of years now. In fact, I'm just kind of spitting. I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. I would not be shocked when the NFL gets involved with this and they start supplementing these super conferences, because eventually the NCAA is not going to be involved anymore with the FBS level football. I think they're going to find a way to start some sort of NIL fund where it's whatever the 64, 68 teams that are involved, so they can figure out a way to get everybody's going to get a piece of that pie from the NFL. I don't know, maybe each NFL team, what is there, 32, 30, what's the number of NFL teams right now? They'll be required to donate to 2 teams, and it'll be the same amount. It's not like USC will get this amount and UCLA will get this amount. No. USC and UCLA will each get, I'm just picking a number, $5 million. So now the NFL, each NFL team will say, all right, these are the 2 teams you're responsible for. Throw your money into the kitty. Will it happen? I don't know. Just throwing it out there for suggestion. College football, it ain't going back to the way we grew up on it. It's changed. It is the minor leagues. And now we just need a commissioner. We need a salary cap, right? Here's a comment from Todd Kagel. It's mind-boggling that only 5 of these recruits, USC's class 2024, are from California. If that trend doesn't change on the field, if that trend doesn't change, then the on-field results will stay the same. Okay. First of all, Todd, I really like your eye for certain intangibles, because I noticed that as well. So let me ask a rhetorical question, and you can respond in the comment section. Why are the California recruits so tied to the money? Why are they the ones who are chasing the NIL bag so much? But you are absolutely correct. Yes, this trend does have to change. And I think Riley needs to understand that the California recruits mindset, he needs to understand it differently than all those flyover states, where he's more familiar, Colorado, Texas, Oklahoma, that part of the country where he's done a lot of his recruiting. When you go to those parts of the country, those families are more down to earth. They're less about material things. It's a different culture. So we'll see if we'll see how Lincoln Riley continues to adjust as he gets more familiar with the Southern California landscape in particular. So again, I didn't have a lot of time. I apologize. That's on me. I will dedicate 2 segments next week in one of my shows to you, the viewer and listening audience, because without you, I'm not here. Again, I really do appreciate all of your comments. I might not like them all. Some of them might get under my skin, but I really do appreciate you listening and watching, because without you, I'm just wasting my time. So thank you. And because this is the last episode of Locked On USC this week, again, a very happy, very Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Whatever your gift, whatever you wish for, I hope you get it. And I think we all wish for the same thing. A fantastic new year, USC 2024 football, getting into the playoffs, winning it all. So that would be the greatest gift. If that would be an early present, that's what we all want. So from me to you, thank you. And everyone, you know what to do.